The Madness of King George by the excellent Alan Bennett. I've chosen a prop for this madness. This is received some 25 years ago. A guy sent me this thing, which I only dare put on for 10, 20 times maybe. That's why it still it still works. It's not disintegrated. True, the guy had a good shop, and these things kept on even after washing. A few times, once. I'm joking. Um, this is a play with humor, but there's also a serious, sad thread throughout. Um, for the king does seem to get mad at one time. What? He keeps using what, but when he's sane, strangely enough, which may say that he was not really in his perfect mind even before. But then, it's a complex situation. That's what makes a play like this interesting, because it's not black and white, it's not good and bad, mad and sane. In fact, even in periods of what, he is very shrewd and witty. At one point, he talks to Pitt, his prime minister, and says, "Look, I have a sensitive mind now, so don't disagree with me." He's so clever that he's using this apparent madness, and we don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Even if the behavior is really outrageous at one point, and that can be explained. They bring in a doctor who, apart from some crazy methods, straitjacket and gagging and breaking him like a horse, you wouldn't do that today. I guess even if just in passing, in Australia they discovered again these days, Australia, one of the most advanced democracies in the world, that they torture natives, children, in some of these not asylums, but places where they keep, I'm not sure, people without family. Anyway, so this doctor uh, has some elements of psychoanalysis in place. He says, and maybe that's a good point, look, kings, princes have uh, the disadvantage of privilege, what perhaps Tal Ben Shahar from Harvard would call it. Um, when you have it all, there's a problem. You don't know how to cope when something with pressure, when something is wrong. And so this doctor says they know no disagreement, everybody's there to please them, yes, your majesty, and so on. So that's it doesn't the mind is not elastic, it doesn't help the mind, doesn't the mind is getting rigid and things like that. That may be a good point there. I mean, working without disagreement, that's not good. And I remember in the lectures, which we can see online, by the way, of this Harvard professor, he mentions at one point somebody, I forgot the name, but that's not that relevant now, of someone in the Clinton administration who had a splendid career, meteoric ascendance, raised to the top, working with the president. What more can you expect? Young. But that has been all his journey, only success after success. So when there was a problem with something, I don't know, the press attacked him for something, it doesn't matter, but he broke down when he met a challenge, because he didn't know how to deal with that. It's good to have adversity, it's good to know how to cope with adversity. Coming back to this excellent play, I'm not sure how much it's based on reality. That's worth checking out, see what history has to say. But there's a political background to it, and there's Pitt, and there's Mr. Fox, who wants to take over. Uh, and so to say, Pitt is in the same camp with George III, and Fox is in another opposite group with the Prince of Wales, the fat one, as his father called it. That's not good. That's sad at times how the prince wants his father to be committed so that he can become the regent and then name Mr. Fox. And then on the other hand, as it's not pleasant to watch the king or hear the king, because that was a recorded play production for the BBC that I heard earlier today. To hear the king speak with almost disgust about his son. Well, as we know in history, plenty of children killed their parents to get on the throne, and quite often the other way around. To end in a jocular note, there's the issue of the United States, because funny because the king would not even mention it when he talks with Mr. Pitt, his prime minister. They speak about that thing, which, from what we learn, contributed, if it wasn't the key issue, the losing the United States, as they call themselves now. But if it wasn't the main cause, it surely contributed to the period of insanity. How this ends, it's for you to find out. I hope you enjoy it.